Look in the mirror. You're the resistance to it. We're going to have George Hunt back on in the near future. I really appreciate him spending so much time with us today. He's now known as the UN whistleblower online. Really devastated the enemy. 20-plus years, and it's really coming to fruit now. Let's go to Carl in Texas. Carl, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. How you doing, man?
Good.
Hey, look, I had a question for you and for George, but I guess if George is gone, I can ask you.
No,
this
George
question.
isn't gone. George is here.
Oh, good. Actually, Alex, you've inspired me. We actually filed bankruptcy about a year and a half ago. Well, actually, we were starting the process, and we made it all official. But during that time, I questioned the dollar, wanted to find out everything I could about the dollar. The bottom line is we found out everything we needed to know, and I thought all the stuff that I was learning about that Orwellian theory about 1984, I thought initially was a joke, and it's not. The stuff is real. I'm 43. I know it's very real. But you've actually inspired me to start another business that sells home security and personal protection products. But one question I had for you, because I'm a fighter. I'm like you. I'm a fighter.
Okay, go ahead. We don't have a lot of time, and we got George Hunt here with you. Go ahead.
But you did mention in one of your other episodes, you said, hey, if things become too unstable, I'd go to a third world country. But how welcomed would we be in another country, and what country?
No, this is going to be a global depression, and I've said there's nowhere to run. I've said if there was some free country I could go to, like my ancestors on the Mayflower on my father and mother's side, on the Jones side, Captain Jones of the Mayflower. On my mother's side, 2 members of the Mayflower. I would do that. There's nowhere to go. We stand, we fight, we stop them here. I appreciate your call. Good to hear from you, Carl. Comments on what he just said, George Hunt.
Well, my wife's ancestor was on the Mayflower, too. They must have been shipmates. I don't know. I don't really know the question that came up, but since this
nowhere to run. He's saying this is global.
I want to bring up again that Maurice Strong. It looks like he's been rewarded with an $8 billion payoff. I'm going to launch a investigation into that, and I'd appreciate any help that your radio listeners could give me in fighting the fight out there by spreading the news, the unhappy news that we've been had.
Hold on. We're going to do 5 more minutes. I want you to be able to finish. Back in 70 seconds. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back live. I meant to do an hour interview. We're now past 2 hours, and I got a ton of important stuff to cover coming up in the next segment. Continue with your open phones. And all these callers are bringing up great points. I'm sorry to cut some people short. We just have limited time. But yes, George, we're going to have you back up, try to support your whistleblowing, hopefully have you back up in the next few weeks so we can just take calls and talk about going after Maurice Strong, the Climate Gate people, Ben Santer, all of them, Phil Jones. We need to have these people exposed and indicted. A lot of them already are in the process or have been indicted. But let's go to Bob in Ohio. You're on the air in a final quick segment with George Hunt. Amazing interview. We appreciate George's courage. Bob, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I've been meaning to call for a long time, and it's crazy how apropos this call will be today, but I moved into the sticks early 90s, about the same time period, and I became associated with someone who claimed to be in league or knew of the elites and was close personal friends with them. He tapped me as a guy who was intelligent and for some reason wanted me to know some facts, and he asked me if I ever knew about the New World Order and Trilateral Commission and those things, and I told him I knew some things, and so he invited me to ask him some questions. I said, how will we know when the New World Order is going to be installed? Or first, I said, how will they go about installing it? He said they'll get us in so many conflicts around the globe that we won't be able to defend ourselves, and a seemingly foreign power would step in and take us over. I said, how will we know when it's about to happen? And he said, if they ever hit the Pentagon, look out. And it was whenever 9/11 happened to me, and of course that was years before that.
And this guy said that he was a member of the elite.
He was affiliated with them. He was a very intelligent man.
They love to brag. George Hunt, comments on what Bob just said.
Oh, they love to brag, and I wish that you had a recorder with you when you're talking to that person. They were one of the ones that were in the know, and they like people to know that they're in the know. But if anyone finds out that they've told their secrets, they get killed.
Bob, call us back again. Call us back again sometime, because I want to hear more of your story. Thank you. Finishing up, George, go ahead.
Well, I don't know how to finish this, except that we are confronted with a new world order that will take away the freedom of every citizen in the world. And if we don't call them out now, we never will. This is our last chance.
You said, I agree with you. You said it earlier, though. This is the moment of truth. They're coming in like a flood, but the Spirit of the Lord is lifting up a standard against them. And all of us, myself, you, millions of others, we are that standard against the enemy.
That's right.
And when we do fight, we beat them. And so people need to see themselves as leaders, wake up their friends, their families, their neighbors, educate them. Films are a great way to do it. Radio shows are a great way to do it. Read books, get educated yourself, educate your city council. When these environmentalists come around, they want to steal your property, brainwash your kids. On record, they've got to be stopped. And, George, I'm glad you're doing an investigation on Maurice Strong and others, and you're talking about filing suit on them through the whistleblower international groups. And when can we hear more about that coming up?
I'll be filing suit within 2 weeks. And after I find a lawyer that is up to the fight, and then after they're sued, they'll probably pay some heavy fines, and I'll get 30% of their heavy fines because I'm an official whistleblower. So there's something in it for people that blow whistles.
And you can use that to fight them more. You've certainly spent a lot of time the last 22 years fighting these people, and we're just glad that you almost bumbled into all of this and that you were an upstanding person who would have the courage to fight them and expose them. The website is thebigbadbank.com. Got books and videos there available. And again, Endgame at Infowars.com, the preeminent film to expose this entire agenda. George, let me say bye to you during the break, and we're going to be talking to you again, and Jan and other great folks in your office about having you back on and phase 2 of our operation against the New World Order.